first of all, I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to Tales from the Jails. Now listen, we need everybody to do something for us. If you really like what you see on Tales from the Jails, you're really interested in what you see on Tales from the Jails, we need you to go to YouTube at Tales from the Jails and become a member. Subscribe as well, but also become a member. That way you can get updated on all the new content as we continue to bring you these amazing episodes. So we want everyone to go to YouTube at Tales from the Jails and become a member.
As y'all heard him, go to YouTube at Tales from the Jails and become a member. We got an array of content that's coming out that you will be thoroughly entertained by. It's only gonna get better. I'm telling you, there's only up to go. And we wanna thank y'all for rocking with us, man, and listening to the awareness that we're bringing about prison life. So go to where again, bro?
Go to YouTube at Tales from the Jails and become a member.
YouTube at Tales from the Jails, and please become a member.
I want to welcome everybody to Tales from the Jails. We're here live in partnership with TNS Media Group, the team and the family. We got a special guest today, someone who's we always seeing on Instagram, the internet, someone who's always, putting on for the prisons and spreading the awareness of the prisons. Our guy, Chris Willars, here along with my partner, Brahim Jackson. I want to welcome you to the show, Chris. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm glad to be here, man.
We're glad to have you. So, you have a lot of things going on, with you. I know you have the foundations and, you're, everywhere speak about prison reform. Can you kind of explain to us your story? Like, I know you did, what, you said 17, how many years you did in prison?
16 years, 11 months.
You did 16 years in prison. If you want to elaborate to the fan base, the audience who don't know, what led you to going in prison?
Yeah, so, and I love telling my story, and I'm glad to be up here, man. I appreciate y'all for having me out here in Philly. Basically this, in 2003, I was sentenced to 144 years. One evening, one night, I drove my cousin, two of his homeboys, to a spot. They stuck it up. I never left the vehicle. And on top of that, they never used a real weapon. They used a BB gun. Never touched a BB gun, but still, by the time it was all said and done, I ended up with a 144-year prison sentence in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they went into what was it, a bodega? What was it?
Just a restaurant. It was just, it's a small mom and pops. Yeah.
And they gave you 144 years. So let me ask you a question, because we always talk about this, because this can be something that, that can help the youth or anyone that's in a life of crime.
Yeah.
So you went to trial.
Yeah. Well, a version of it.
Okay.
I didn't get to go to trial, and that's why I'm glad to hear the story, especially to the youth, because there's a whole generation of young people to this day, like 18 to 22, that are getting locked up, if not 16 to 22. But when we got locked, I was the last one of my co-defendants to get locked. And when it went down, they ran into my grandmother's house. My grandmother was freaking out. I pulled up to my grandmother's. She was like, the detectives were out here, the police. So I went to go turn myself in maybe about an hour later. And when I went into the police station, they cuffed me up. They brought me into the interrogation room. And within 15 minutes, they gave me an opportunity to go home scot-free. Wouldn't have had to do a day, a minute, a second, none of that. I would have never had to touch a cell. But they told me straight up right then and there, they're like, yo, you're the youngest. At the time, I was in the military, United States Air Force. You never got in any trouble. You were probably just running with them. We want them. We don't want you. And, back then, especially back then, it was the big no snitch culture. People were wearing the shirts, all that. You know what I'm saying? And immediately, within like 2-3 minutes, I was like, nah, I'm not taking that. I turned it down twice, the opportunity to go home. And because of that, as the detectives were getting up from the table, they told me, they're like, well, we're going to make sure you get a life sentence. And from that, I didn't get a plea or anything. Most people get a plea deal, something offered that they could sign off instead of going to court. So I had an opportunity to go in front of a judge without a plea or straight in front of the jury. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, it made more sense to go in front of the judge and basically put myself at the mercy of him so I can get back in court. If I went in front of a jury, whatever time they gave me, I wouldn't have been able to appeal. Not in that way. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Much question. How did they know that you were involved? What happened?
Man, crazy story. And to anybody watching this, yo, it's funny because I used to sit there in prison year in, year out and listen to all the masterminds that were getting ready to go back out and do whatever they were going to do. But for us, maybe 2 weeks after that incident occurred, what I didn't know was they were still running around doing what they were doing outside of that situation where I was involved. And ironically enough, on a humbug, my cousin, one of the co-defendants, they were living together, his child's mother, a baby. They lived in an apartment complex. And the neighbors were walking upstairs with their groceries, and they heard loud music. They heard a baby crying in his apartment, and they smelled smoke, weed smoke or whatever. And they were concerned citizens. They called the police department. The police came to do a welfare check at the apartment, make sure the baby was good. They came and knocked on my cousin's door. And when they knocked on his door, he thought it was me. He opens the door. The police are there. They smelled the smoke. They were able to go into the apartment, shake down, do whatever they were doing. They didn't find anything. Baby was good, all that. But they found one thing. They found a money bag.
Wow.
They found a money bag. People ask me all, like, to this day, like, why would they hang? I don't know. I don't know why they would hang on to that, because I wasn't part of that decision process. But anybody watching this, man, you might know what you're doing with your co-defendants in the moment, but you don't know what's going on afterwards. So,
That's messy. That's a valuable piece of information. You just, like you said, in the moment, yeah, but everybody got to separate.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And you don't know what that person is doing with his own time.
Yeah, the streets are treacherous, man. Just because he's your best friend and your brother, whatever, in broad daylight at night, that's not what it is all the time. So, yeah.
So they find a money bag, and then automatically they go into an investigation mode, and then what's ultimately led to him being arrested.
Well, yeah, his homeboys first, then him, and then me. You know, they one by one grand jury indictments. And
So they told on you. Somebody told on you, basically.
no question.
Do you know who it was?
Oh yeah, yeah. I ran into him later on in the bid too. One of them, but two of the co-defendants, not my cousin, the two homeboys. For the most part, they were the ones talking. I say for the most part because my cousin said something too. But what stuck out to me through it all was after I got locked up, turned down the opportunity to go home. They placed me in solitary confinement in the jail because our case was high priority. They had never, where we were at in Virginia, robberies weren't happening. And like I said, I didn't know that they had some other things going on. So probably like the third day I'm sitting there in solitary confinement, I'm waiting for my tray, really not the tray because I couldn't eat the food yet, really just waiting for something, the little cartons of orange juice to come through in the morning. And my tray slots opens up, boom. And I look, I get up, get myself together waiting for the tray or whatever. And all of a sudden I'm looking up because nothing's coming. And I see the little radio, the tape player get dropped, boom. And I looked up and it was the detective. And he sits the tape player on the tray slot and he press play. And it was one of the guys. He was just breaking down the whole situation, putting other things on me that I wasn't even there for. I mean, he gave up a whole mixtape.
Dang.
Yeah.
So next question. After going through that, how do you feel about informants or they say rats and people that tell? How do you feel about those type of people that do that?
As a civilian now,
Law-abiding citizen.
as a law-abiding citizen, I mean, I just overall, I think it's sad that we live in a society and that, without going all the way off, but as somebody that's black and brown, that we haven't figured out that they exist and that they look like us. So that's just my thought. They exist. Where there's good, there's the opposite. And for everybody out there that's facing a life sentence with your homeboy, more than likely they're not going to take that. They're going to pass that to you. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm ask you this then. How did you feel at that time when it happened? Like, what was the feeling going through your mind, your body? Like, what was going on with you when you heard that tape, that tape play?
I mean, I think immediately, in full transparency, as a 42-year-old man now, I think for a few seconds I was like, dang, I should have took the opportunity if I was going to go down like that. I remember the detective telling me before I said no the second time, he's like, yo, you really going to choose the streets over your mother? And I was like, if that's how you say it, if that's how you see it, And maybe for a few seconds it flashed, because I knew once I heard that recording, I'm in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I already know.
Ain't too much more help you can get.
No, there's no help. I got a public defender. I don't know anything, looking back at the situation. I don't know nothing about courts or none of that. But I knew I was in trouble, because the Commonwealth of Virginia, especially back then, it was really well known that there was a lot of snitches, a lot of informants in the system. And if you weren't on that side, you was going to end up getting 20 years. And that was the average time that was being given to the brothers around then.
Wow. So you go to trial or whatever, and then you get 144 years.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How did you feel? What was going through your mind when they gave you 144 years?
Yeah, so shout out to my public defender who got. No, don't shout out to the public defender, man. For real. But there's some good public defenders out there, though. I know a few that really are fighting, but mine was a piece of garbage, and that's straight up. He pushed my court date up for sentencing up like a month and a half. So I woke up one morning, random morning. I'm still thinking I got time to prep for court, at least mentally or whatever. They wake me up, take you down to the bullpen. I'm telling them, I ain't got court. My court date's not. They get me all the way to the courthouse. My public defender walks in. He's like, yeah, we moved your court date up. I'm like, yo, you didn't communicate that. He's like, they were supposed to tell you at the jail. I was like, man, you're my lawyer. Like, You know what I'm saying? And he said, well, listen, they're getting ready to sentence you today. The best we can do is get you 35 to 54 years to do. There's no parole in Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm 19. So when he says 35 to 54 years, I'm doing the math. I'm like, I'm going to be in my 50s, like, or dead. And luckily, I had enough courage to do what a lot of young people don't, which is why I work with young people now in the court system. But I told him, I was like, I can't do that. And he got offended. Like, he got offended that I told him I couldn't take the number that he was going to be able to get me through the Commonwealth. So
I'm gonna cut you off, but this is an older guy or younger guy?
It's an older white man, Italian guy. He used to come in now as a man, but back then his suit used to be disheveled. He used to smell like liquor on his breath. Like, this is stuff I remember. But in the moment, you're young, you don't. And he gets mad when I tell him I'm not doing that. So he literally says to me as a 19-year-old kid, he said, well, I gave you 2 minutes to figure out what I can tell them. I said, what do you mean?
To figure out for you to figure out what him to tell him.
Yeah. And he walks off. He walks off. And as a 19-year-old kid, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out how much time from my life I can give and survive in the prison, and that would make them happy. So I'm watching, and it's ironic, I watched a young kid from Philly. He was 16 years old. We called him Philly. 16 years old, he was in there with us. He used to ball lights out crazy. But he had got a robbery charge with his co-defendant for a pizza man in the same city or whatever. And he wasn't the trigger man, none of that. They ended up giving him 2 life sentences for one joint. And I was sitting there and I was like, man, I'm going to tell him I want to be home before I'm 40. And for some people, y'all might not understand that, but the way I looked at it, at least I'd be alive. Like, I felt like I could survive 20. And that might sound crazy, but if at that time in the system, what's going on? So when he come back in, that's what I told him. I said, man, I just want to be home before I'm 40. And he said, all right. He walks out there. Next thing I know, they call me out there. They line me up next to him. We go through it. My mom gets up there on the stand, begs for mercy. I get up there. I say, I'm sorry, all that. And then the judge ended up giving me 144 years, all suspended, but 19. So I had to do 85% of that.
I hope everybody's enjoying the episode. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Tales from the Jails. I got a very important announcement to make for anyone looking to get into IDD. It's called intellectual disability housing, where you can make a lot of money in this business, and you don't know where to start. You want to find a company that can help you get it done. Contact TNS Licensing and Consulting. That's TNS Licensing and Consulting. Numbers are 267-534-5053. 267-534-5053. Call now. Don't wait. We can help you get started. We train you on how to run a business. We teach you from A to Z, how to get started, so forth and so on. That's TNS Licensing and Consulting. Number 267-534-5053. 267-534-5053. Call now. You want to get into the business, but you don't know how to start. Everybody's saying you can do this, you can do that. I can show you how to do. We show you how to get it done. We train you, get you prepared to pass the test. Everything you need to do. Contact us now. If you want to get into IDD, no matter what state you're in, you can be anywhere in the U.S. We get it done. That's TNS Licensing and Consulting. You want to get into IDD, contact us. What was going through your mind when you heard that?
What was going through my mind was, prior to this, never got in trouble. United States Air Force, BB gun, didn't touch it. Nobody got physically harmed or even touched. So these are the things that were going through my mind. And then I was watching, I'm watching people that don't look like me with similar charges coming out with 5 years, 10 years.
Wow. Who was this judge? Do you remember the judge's name?
Judge Scott. Yeah.
I asked, older guy, young guy?
Older black guy.
Older black guy.
That's one thing about getting sentenced. You'll never forget that judge that sentenced you, ever.
Yeah.
Especially to that type of time.
Yeah.
You will remember him to the day you die.
Yeah. But it's so crazy though, because for anybody that if you watch my story or if you check out, he kind of saved me. It sounds crazy, but man, I don't know. If he wasn't there and it was the other judge that was at circuit court, they wouldn't. I wouldn't have been able to do this interview.
All right. Tell us why you say that. Why do you say that? Like, what was it that he did?
Well, prior to going to court, you're asking the old heads about the judges and the other judge was an older white lady, and she was just known for being vicious with the sentence and no second chances. And with robberies, she was known like starting off 40 plus years. Like she just didn't want in that jurisdiction. So with even with him giving me that time, he still gave me a chance to get home. So yeah. Wow. So all right, man, 144 years.
That's life.
So when did it did the time hit you, like when you first heard it, or did you have to get back to like the prison? And
what's crazy is I was relieved.
Wow.
And I'm just telling you what I was. Again, I'm a 19-year-old kid though, right? As a 42-year-old with a 20, I would not be relieved, right? Like my
nowhere near
how I see the world and everything is different. But as a 19-year-old kid, I had a release date, and a lot of my partners that were coming, to the jail getting locked, they weren't getting release dates. So, and then they had me in a high priority. They had me in the max pod. Everybody in there had like 30, 40. So I'm coming in there with less than 20. I got 19, 85% of that, 16 years, 11 months, or whatever, 16, 17. I come home in my 30s. And again, it sounds crazy to anybody that's never dealt with the system, but I'm from a place where they bury you.
Yeah. Wow. So now you go to prison. You go to prison. What was your, like you get there, like what was the defining moment that for you, like that? Hold up, this is prison. Like what hit you?
Yeah. So at the jail, I had a little reputation, like whatever. Me and some of the youngins, we clicked up or whatever. We thought we were badass, whatever, right? But you get to prison, nobody cares about that. Like you're not in your town or your city or wherever, And they sent me straight to Sussex 2. It's a level 4. Over 70% of the camp had life sentences. But my second day there, I got approached by some guys from Richmond. And I had pulled, just like the day before, I pulled my box out, put it against the wall, sat on it, just watched the block, didn't get involved. It wasn't bothering nobody like that. But these guys approached me. It's 5 of them, and they was just talking trash, and they started joking, and they weren't joking with me. They were joking, at me. And I stood up off my box and got jumped, like my second day in, for no reason other than minding my business. Some other young people came over talking trash, and I stood up because I wasn't gonna go for it. And I realized, I was like, I'm in prison now for sure.
Wow. So now we always talk about prison back and forth, like me and him, because he did like the time. I never did no long extensive time in prison at all. So you get to prison, you realize you're there. By that moment, how long did it take you to get adjusted to being incarcerated?
Probably like 6 months I was in it. Like once I got my job, my kitchen job, and went through that, they put me in a cell with an old head. He passed away, man, but good dude, solid dude named Omar. And O really schooled me to the system. I was fortunate enough to get put in a cell with him off top. And he had already been locked up for about 21, 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he was really teaching me every time it was locked down to what to look for. He was telling me to pay attention to the politics, all that. So I'd say, the first 3 or 4 months, you're learning, you're getting used to it. I had already been used to being at the jail, been used to being in the hole. And once I got my job in the kitchen and I got my routine, I started getting used to it. And that's when I tell people all the time, like, that's when I started getting good at prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Chris.
Yeah.
For the people that's out there that's watching this, the audience, from your point of view, do you think the same thing goes in prison how it do on the street? For the people, I want you to answer this for the people though.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people, they never been there. So
Right.
they probably think, you wake up, the cops come lock you up if you do a crime, or, dealing with individuals. Is it the same laws of the land on the street as in prison to you?
No, not at all. No. For me, prison is way more political, and it's a microcosm. But at the same time, prison is like high school. Part of the reason I get up and I do the content that I do, prison is not all super gangster and not 24/7, but it has its own set of rules. It has its own culture. You get conditioned down to the way that you communicate with people in there. But at the end of the day, prison it's a complete different world. And if you haven't been in there, good for you. Honestly, don't ever go. But if you have, then you know exactly what I'm saying.
Do you think it gave you some good qualities in your life as of now that you took from that experience?
No question.
Because with me, when I went to jail, I didn't know how to clean my ass. And I say it a lot. I didn't know how to clean my ass properly. I didn't have a GED. I got that in there.
Yeah.
I didn't have my respect level. Like, I think dudes that you meet that did 5 years and better, their respect level is beyond this world.
Yeah.
Especially if they adapted to the ways in there.
Yeah.
Like, everything. People look at respect out here on the street from my area is you soft, you a punk. Like, you see me, excuse me, or yes, no, excuse me.
Yeah.
And dude like, oh yeah, dude, sweet. But in jail, without that, you can possibly die.
No question. It feels like there's more manners in prison.
I think I would like to say it at an alarming rate it is.
Yeah, I would say so. People would be shocked by that, but no. You hear excuse me, thank you, pardon self.
Yep.
All that. Out here,
I'm talking about grown men is initiating
I
that.
was in New York like 2 months ago or whatever. Shout out to New York. I love the people, the food, but I was coming out like Burlington or something and held the door open. There's some, the lady was like, yo, I was like, my fault.
Yeah, just
my apologies.
It's nothing to be courteous to other, mankind.
But society shifted out here though.
Okay.
There's more elements out here. I feel like there's more pressures out here that makes people that way.
Okay. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you now that I think about it, you are right, because you don't have that many pressures in jail.
No,
not that many.
In the world.
And yeah, you're definitely right about that. There's not that many pressures, in jail like it is the real world.
Yeah.
Like, I was just looking at a segment the other day, and a dude say that being gangster is going to jail,
And he was like, well, how is being gangster going to jail? He said, I get up, go to work 7 days a week. I pay my mortgage. That's when I really sat down and took in his whole interview. He's like, for the dudes that's going to do 10, 15 years in jail, how is that gangster?
Yeah.
What's gangster about that?
It's not even that. Now you got the backdoor culture.
Yeah.
Now with the youngins, they like to slime each other out. You know, they make songs about it. It's crazy.
Now that you did that time, and you went to prison, just a message, and I probably already know what you want to say. Is it really worth it to do crime? Like, I'm talking about any type of illegal activity. Is it really worth it?
No. Somebody asked me this question recently, and I'd say this. For me, if it would be considered a crime and I ended up going back to prison, it would be for defending somebody that I loved, right? If I'm put in that situation
Or yourself.
Yeah, of course. But overall, no. Anybody that's watching this, it's all a lie. Like, they're tricking us every single day into a system so we can be controlled and corralled. Like, literally. And at some point, and I'm speaking to anybody that's black or brown because I'm both, we got to stop making this. Like, the projects don't have to be dirty, man. Just like the prisons don't have to be violent, even if we end up in that situation. So no, the crime's not worth it. Time you don't get back. There's no reset. Your mother's going to get old in there while you're in there. Your daughter's going to need you. There's a million reasons, why you shouldn't be in the street, especially now with everything. They're building super prisons.
It's a $1 billion business.
What's the prison you told me you just did in Georgia?
They got in Washington County. They passed a budget. It's probably already complete. $496 million for one prison. Why are you out here still committing crimes and they building $496 million prisons?
And that just sounds like it's being built to make money.
But that's a state of the art prison, like.
No, what I'm saying, it's not like it's being built to generate money. Like, you're not going to spend $500 million just to make nothing. That seems like it's just built to make money.
You got to get it back. And in a place like I'm at,
you got to get it back. You're right about that.
They just passed a crazy budget for the jail out there in Fulton County. But if anybody is watching this is just one. Like that one super prison. They gonna build these everywhere. And for where I'm at in Georgia,
super prison.
Yeah, right outside of Atlanta, they built an 88-acre. They're building in an 88-acre cop city. It's the national training grounds for law enforcement. That's how you fill up
88 acres.
Well, that's how you fill up a $496 million prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to increase police presence.
Yeah, they got to be vigilant and be out there.
Yeah. So I'm always.
They both go hand in hand.
Yeah. It makes no sense for us to go back and man, don't get me started, man.
Yeah, get started. Get started.
It's just ridiculous. And yesterday, I'm on the phone with a young man, and I told him, he said we could speak about this, but his whole conversation with me was, I have to be in the streets. I have to. I ain't got no choice. And my whole rebuttal was that you're going to end up in prison forever or a casket. And no matter how you think you're winning in a moment from jumping in the street, you're going to lose. Whatever you gain is gone.
The chances of a victory is slim to none. You're not like the chance of you making it out. It's very few people that I've seen that was in the streets that just made it out. Like, I can count 300 people and probably one person made it out.
And if they're telling you they were in the streets like that and they made it out, they probably weren't really in the streets like that. Just saying. Or I don't know.
Or they just made it out because it's something they do. But now the thing about it, the thing I want to say is the prison system. You talk about this prison, $500 million.
Yeah, might as well. 496.
And they're making it in a way to probably to make the inmates feel comfortable being there, or make it like it's like a place to be for inmates. Like with somebody like, I'm trying to go over to this prison. They talk about, you know what I'm saying? Because people want to move around to certain prisons, but they're making it very, very attractive, honestly, to make money.
I don't know, and I'm gonna say that I don't know the specific details. I have from the last report I read, it was gonna be more of an intake. / But what I will say is there are prisons like you're speaking about. I was telling bruh, I just left Maine where there's no fence around the prison and they're making $90,000 a year with refrigerators in their room. What are they going home for?
Hold on.
Yeah.
They're making, you said that the prisoners making $90,000 a year? I'm sorry.
I just left the prison in Maine.
Mhm.
That's what the way you saying is how I was saying when he told me. I was like, "You make what?" And he wasn't. So in this prison I just left in Maine, there's no fence. If you're under 5 years, you got an opportunity to be there. You're under 3, you go to work every day in the city. These guys are working 12, 13, 14 hours a day or whatever. They're buying houses. They're all that. They're taking them on camping trips, right? They go to Walmart. And for anybody, don't take this the wrong. I'm not saying like we shouldn't be treated as humans, but I am saying that's creating a whole nother monster, in my opinion, because you have people now that why should I leave or why should I not come back? What am I really?
Free room and board, meals. I get to go to Walmart. I get to interact in society,
Yeah.
even though it's limited. But I get to do all these things.
Right. And again, I'm not saying we should be treated like humans. We should, because I've been in situations where guys were dying of heat stroke or couldn't get ice and different. I'm not saying that, but yeah, if you do too much of something, you're gonna perpetuate an individual to come right back. I believe that wholeheartedly.
So they're not going to be afraid to break law. I'm going back to that.
Why would you? It's
Because some people don't want to come home because they've been in there so long that they're afraid to come out and to accept, being in society, getting a regular job, providing for a family. All these things are not normal after you did 30, 40 years in prison.
there you go.
So when you come home, you're looking around like, man, I can go back and,
That's easier.
And not only that, some of those guys never made that money, or they're able to stay clean because they're in that environment. They're gonna, there's a whole bunch of different layers, and that's why this prison thing is different. Virginia is going after, they're doing a European model in a lot of the prisons now. Some of their prisons don't even have the hole. Nobody's getting in trouble, and that's a blessing. Nobody's fighting, no dirty urines, beautiful thing. But, some of them guys, they're like, yo, like whenever I hear guys say, yo, it's like that here. It's nice here. That's crazy to me.
Everyone knows prison is a serious matter. Prison is oppression. But nothing's worse than going to prison and not knowing what to expect. Or coming home after being incarcerated for years and not knowing what to expect. We help you here at Tales from the Jails. We offer consultation for those who are going to prison, also those who are coming home from prison, and also we have different features and options for those who are in prison. If you're looking for consultation to assist you in these matters, contact us, talesfromthejail.com. That's talesfromthejail.com. Book your consultation today.
You're in prison.
You're in prison.
I don't care what color they paint the wall. They put fish tanks and I don't care what they do. They give you pizza. Yo, you still in prison. That's abnormal. They trying to trick you so you stay in there longer.
And they can build a state for you every day and make billions of dollars off you.
Yeah. And your sons, because you'll tell them that prison's not that bad. And I hope not. But
And then in prison, a lot of times some people go in and come out different. So that's something that makes people don't want to go in. What was the craziest change that you saw? I don't know if you've seen a man come in a certain way, then once he got there, he just turned into something else.
I know I've seen it.
yeah, you talk inside the system?
Inside the system, yeah.
I mean, I've had brothers, like one brother in particular that to this day, he lost his mind in there in that way. I've seen brothers change in multiple ways, but whenever you sitting there, you breaking bread with an individual, you working out in a yard with an individual, and then you wake up the next day and you go to holler at your homeboy and he's drooling on himself. And you gotta make sure you and the homie's pulling his pants up because he done lost his mind. We done seen that. I done had partners that walk down the majority of their bid, over half of it, and then go to the hole and never come out the hole. Went ahead and just hung it up. So I've seen people lose it and snap that way. And then, man, I seen a whole bunch of people, like where I did my time in Commonwealth of Virginia. I just came from a banquet, the League for Safer Streets. And there was probably like at least 300 people in there, close to 200 returning citizens, quote unquote, people that did time, and a lot of people successful on a high level. So I've seen it, on both spectrums. Yeah.
So I know he probably talking about, you know, men going as men and come out as women.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a homie named QB that stood for quick body because you know he was out here. You know, he liked to kill.
Mm-hmm.
His name is still QB, but it's Queen B now. It's not for quick body.
Yeah.
He up there and he wearing the skirts and the eyebrows and
That's
this what it do to a lot of dudes, man. And
So hold on, Mom. Sorry. You said his name was Quick. His name was QB for quick body, meaning out on the streets that he would kill
fast.
And now he's up. It's QB. It's Queen B now.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that happens in there.
Yes.
We're gonna be. I mean, my take on that is it's just like the streets. But I mean, in there, I guess maybe you see it more.
Do you think that a person? I saw something. They said that a person who transitions to being a homosexual in prison, mean that's who they was before they went in there.
You know what?
I don't know about that, man. I like that because I think you could get turned out. I don't think you know. I don't know. Let me let Chris answer that because he might got a better understanding than I do. But I don't think that you probably was gay from the drive.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't speak directly to that, but I can only assume prison is a lonely place. Everybody can't do 10 years, 15 years without attention or affection or interaction on some level. You got that. You've got people getting turned out. Addiction is real. Debt is real.
Yep.
You got the food chain in there. Like there's just some straight up predators in there, and there's some straight up prey, and it's messed up. You know, but there's some guys that it's not even their choice. It just
that's the way they went.
And when you're in an environment like prison, you know, sexual assault occurs, right? Or whatever trauma, similar to what 1 out of every 3 young men get sexually assaulted. So if we know that, and then we put that number in prison and they come out, I mean, at times there's going to be some shifts in the individual's mentality. And of course, there's some people that are already that way.
A lot of y'all young guys are, going to prison. And y'all about to be 120 pounds out here getting high on the streets, not working out.
Yeah.
And then you go upstate or to the feds, wherever you go at, and these men have been up there for 10 years doing burpees, pull-ups, push-ups, strong, and they may be attracted to you. It's real.
Yeah, they had some, I call them snatchers or whatever, but they had
snatchers.
Yeah, snatchers. That's what I call them.
Yeah. Snatcher. What's that mean?
They were the dudes that you knew they were snatching people up in the cells.
Mm.
And not everybody was. It's so crazy. Prison is an abnormal place.
Very.
And it's different in every state, federal, and all that. But I knew some snatchers that was respected.
I know a lot that's respected. A lot. Matter of fact,
a snatcher.
I think everybody I know
because you walking by the cell, you get snatched in there.
Yeah, don't nobody get in them dudes' business.
No,
them dudes is running around and they taking butt and they on ass and they doing what they doing.
So weird.
It sounds crazy for me to say this, but they still carry it on man conduct. Like they might not offer me and Chris, some ding-a-ling or something like that because they know we ain't going for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not in his business either. Talking about, boy, you was over there. I'm respecting him like a cold-blooded man.
Because you in that environment.
Exactly. And it's sad to say, in there it's acceptable. This is a way of life. Like I done walked the track, and my man had to check me heckling, coming in on my bed, and I'm seeing 2 men laid up and one feeding his partner fruit or whatever on the grass, and they got their towels out, and I'm snickering. And my man telling me, yo, mind your business before he look over here and ask you what you want to massage him to.
Or try to kill you.
Exactly. One or the other. So it's something that you have to conform to in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And then just being in there, right? It's being in prison and the family aspect. That's another thing that can, like, you lose your loved ones. Like he always talk about your girl.
Yeah.
Leave. How was that for you? Like, did your loved ones, did everybody disappear, or was someone stayed true?
Everybody was gone but my mother.
Mom always be the one, man.
Shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, I moved her down there with me to the A.
Heavy, Mom. Heavy shout out to you, Mom.
Yeah. During a portion of my bid, I dated a staff worker for like 6 years. So shout out to Asia too, still a friend of mine. And then I had my wife at the end. I met her.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
So-
but outside of that, no.
How does that work though? Like, no, I'm not trying to get you in any trouble or anything, but
No, you good.
but a staff worker, like, this is a prison guard.
She was a kitchen supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow, how does that work though? Like-
Human nature is human nature.
Especially if you work down there with her.
Yeah, and staff. So in where I was at, staff dining, there's no cameras in staff dining, but it's not about that. But it just means you got more opportunity to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. We call that the OM, Officers Lounge.
Yeah, and then if you're in there, that means you probably got some clout on the compound.
Mm-hmm.
So they already know from the officer side, if they working down here, they must be about something. And then the only other dude that worked in there, that was my partner. So we were able to, form a relationship through conversation, interaction. But when those women come in there, and we're in there, it's probably like a grocery store for them.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a grocery store for
Yeah,
them.
they probably, but we just struck it. We crossed paths and we got the building, and that was it, man. 6 years strong, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that helped you bid, I'm assuming. Or did it make it worse? Like,
It made it work, and not to her. Shout out to her for real. But being in a relationship in prison isn't easy. Not if you really care. Yeah. Like if you just playing games and you trying to pass the bid, get money, go to visit.
Yeah, that's
whatever,
easy.
That's easy. But if you really care about these people, you don't want nothing and you on the inside, you stressing. The phones. I was fortunate enough on every block I was in, I had a phone, but that's stressful. Just holding a phone in the block. It's a lot more that goes into being in a relationship, because prior to that, I was able to just focus on the prison and doing my time and staying safe. But now I was distracted because I was constantly all day, every day thinking about the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have any siblings?
It's crazy. I got two sisters. I was adopted. I've got two sisters that are older than me growing up. And then when I was 36, my wife found my biological family. So I'm the oldest of now 6 biological.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you got 6. Dang, and how was that for you though, to meet them and talk to them? How was that?
Man, so like I met my wife when I was in the system, and we knew we were gonna end up getting married. We were tight, but one of the things she wanted me to meet my family if we could. She did what she did. She found them. In full transparency, it didn't change me one way or the other, man. And I know sometimes people may not want to hear that if you're adopted and you haven't been with, but I had a mother and a father that adopted me when I was a baby, and man, they love me, like no other. So
you already had that.
Yeah.
Love. These are just y'all really my real family, but
yeah,
this bond over here is
they
they did time with me in prison, so it was like
man,
that's the hardest.
Yeah, and it, at the same time, and for my parents, I didn't really feel nothing, and it's it is what it is. But for my siblings, I was grateful when I found my sister and all that. You know what I'm saying? So my nieces, my nephews, my brothers, all that. Yeah.
So, meeting them for the first time, and did you ask them what was the reason why they put you up for adoption?
No question. Yeah. I mean, because that was part of the trauma that probably haunted me growing up. That was part of the anger. That was part of because I knew I was adopted since 8. That was part of me always feeling like I was out of place, didn't really belong. That was part of frustration. So, yeah, immediately. But my mother had me when she was young. Biological mother had me when she was 17. Got pregnant by an older man. Parents weren't with it. They gave me up. But then my mother and biological father ended up having my little brother like a year later. They kept him.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Hey, look, listen. As you know, your loved one's getting old. Everyone needs home care. You don't know what agency to go with. You see agencies on the buses. You see agencies in the bathrooms. Everywhere you go, you see home care agencies all around. You don't know what agency to choose from because all of them were saying 401k. All of them had a lot of the same things that they offer: vacation pay, top dollar. You see it everywhere. So you see these home care agencies, and you're trying to pick and choose, trying to weed out the real from the fake. You don't know which agency to choose. You don't know who I'm going to choose, what I'm going to do. What you do is you contact us. No more long lines at the welfare office. No more, waiting for someone to call you back. You don't know who's going to help you. You heard all this stuff before. I'm going to get you your services. I'm going to get your mom approved. I'm going to get your grandmom approved. I'm going to get your brother approved. Whatever. You hear all these things. People want to get you set up, get you going. But you're still sitting at home waiting to get home care services to get approved. Call us. We'll help you. 267-982-0342. 267-982-0342. Contact us. I'll point you in the right direction of what agency to choose. That's 267-982-0342. 267-982-0342. Call now. So, all right, let's get back to so your biological parents, they had you. She was young, had you.
Yeah.
Gave you up for adoption. Then they had another sibling.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like? What was it? Was it an emotional conversation, or was it?
Yeah. This was the basis of me never trusting anybody, anything. Because for me, if my mother gave me up for adoption and could, in my mind, leave me, anybody could.
Mm.
So that was really haunting me through life, and that was my question. I'm like, yo, why didn't you fight harder? Because I'm getting ready to be, me and my wife, we're getting ready to have our first child.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
What you have? You know what you having already?
Little boy, December 11th, man.
That's what's up, man.
I'm about to cry right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
But in my mind, like, there's no situation that I could, fathom in my mind that I would
leave him.
Yeah, but I understand why some parents do. Maybe they're not equipped, they're not ready, etc. And I ended up, like I said, with a loving family at the end of the day. So
I like to sit up here and tell the story about my mom because, me, I'm the same way. My mom gave me up 2 different times, once at 2 and again at 7. But this was back in the 80s when I was growing up. And it ain't no but because, a parent is supposed to be a parent.
Right.
But, my mom was on drugs, man. She was on drugs at an alarming rate. She would leave for days. Me and my sister just be there. We was young. And that's a traumatizing experience, man. Granted, now my mom has been clean for years straight. She take care of my son better than I can take care of him. Yeah. She's trying to give back through him, and I respect it.
That's a blessing, though.
She was dealing with a demon. 80s was the crack, man.
Addiction is a disease too, man.
Man, and that caused her to make a lot of wrong decisions that had a trickling effect. Because by her abandoning us, that put me through a. I gotta think I gotta look out for my sister. So now I'm like the head of the household now. I'm at a young age on it, so I'm stealing out the stores raw bacon and bologna and just to eat at night. So I understand exactly where you're coming from, bro. Yeah. Exactly.
All of us got similar stories. My mother she was on drugs too in the 80s, but we ended up going to stay with my grandmother who basically adopted us, took care of us for some time until my father got himself together. But my mom has been clean now for about 16, 17 years, and she's
same as mine.
Shout out to moms. Shout out to all the moms around the world who
moms, man.
Yeah, because we, you just never know, what you're going to go through. Because it's not. I don't want to say it's their fault because just like you said, it's like the chips are sometimes stacked against us because this stuff is pumped into our communities, and so much stuff is pumped into the communities, and these kids are, find themselves going to prison, find themselves in repeating the cycle, drugs and so forth and so on. So, we gotta, acknowledge the fact that they're human and they just fell short.
Yeah, moms, that's their first time living too. We gotta give moms grace too, man.
And a lot of them had broken homes and things of that nature too. So, we gotta give them a pass. Now, let me rewind a little bit. Prison, you go through all the prisons. I think he got this thing he always asks about the lock in the sock or the knife.
Let me ask you, because he don't know how to present it right. He do, but
got you.
And I'm quite sure. Let me ask you: have you seen someone ever get locked in sock?
No question.
Have you ever seen someone get stabbed?
No question.
From your point of view, if you was the one arguing with the person, what would you rather take? Like, meaning, like I'm not saying you took it or anything, but if you had to get into an altercation with somebody, would you rather him come at you with that knife or with that lock and sock?
Depends who I'm arguing with and who's holding that weapon. But if it was just a random, I don't want that lock in the sock.
So
I ain't gonna lie.
That lock and sock bad,
man. Lock in the sock. Yeah. We used to do the belt in the sock.
See,
the belt and the lock.
because it ain't coming off.
Yeah, you tied in, you good.
Man, that joint has made people. That's a rehabilitation by itself.
Yeah, I knew a few people that are rehabilitated to this day, man.
Man, that will make you forget your name and start. Listen,
Yeah,
that lock and sock.
yeah.
Again, we're not promoting this. We're not glorifying it. This is something that this is a fact.
I'm gonna tell you one that was worse though, where we was at.
The hot water.
Nah, well, the hot water and the grease was bad too.
Yeah.
But we had an issue at one time. Guys was getting their hand on the plexiglass.
Oh my! They the best knives. They go through metal detectors and everything.
And once it go in, they break.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
don't go to prison.
Please
Straight-
don't.
don't go to
Wow. So
Go to prison.
so it go inside you and then go into some bone or some cartilage and break
break.
off in you.
Yeah,
Yes,
break.
it do.
Yeah. Those are probably some of the nastiest ones.
Wow. Now let me sheesh. And I know you got to be out of there. Let's talk about your release date when you got released.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
I was showing brother video. When I walked out of prison, they could have put my face next to the definition of PTSD. Like I always said, like I'm the positive, friendly prison content guy now. But the first, for real, like the first 2 years, I was out my mind. Like the video, I'm twitching. Like I walked out of prison physically, but mentally I was still in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 16 years, 11 months, I came home. All I remember is Kobe and his daughter passing with the passenger, that tragedy, and then the pandemic. And I had been waiting for 17 years to come home and get on some solid ground. And the whole world flipped.
Yeah.
And my probation officer like, you got to get a job. I'm like, yo, they closing everything. They're like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And then, like I'm always telling the brothers and sisters, like I didn't get mental health support. And I came home and I was out my mind. And then I was drinking and I was going down a real bad path, man. I was doing everything in my power not to be free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back for a period of time?
No, I got blessed. I could have went back. Probably at least 3 different times. In 2021, the end of 2021, right before New Year's Eve, I was getting ready to kill myself. It was real dark because when people tell the story for whatever it's worth and it's garbage, I got good at prison while I was in there. I grew up. If you're in there long enough, you're either going to get really good at prison or you're going to be a victim the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came home, that level of success didn't transfer over immediately. In there, I was a big, or whatever, whatever it is, right? Certain level of respect. Out here, I was a garbage man.
Yeah.
And it's pandemic and my wife making the money, and I'm clean, I'm cutting the grass,
Wow, just to try to bring something to the table.
Yeah, and I've never been.
That's trauma too. When you're going through that mode, man.
If
Not
you're
to
a
cut
certain
you off,
type
but
of
I could feel that we both them type of men, all 3 of us. But just you not had like, I feel it pulling at me now as we sit here and talk about it. It's chill, like you can never feel it unless you felt it before. If that makes any sense. Yeah. And then, like you said, if you're that type of man and well, shit, I can go out here and rob something or do this, but you're trying to stick to this path.
Yeah, you trying, and you're dealing with.
That's a war in itself.
Yeah, man. I was dealing with the people. Society has shifted. Technology changed. My mental health, like I said, anxiety was so bad that my body was starting to be impacted by it. And I would be sitting on the couch with my wife watching a movie and literally inside my mind trying to figure out if this was it, like if I was going to go crazy once and for all. Like my mind, like if anybody's ever been there where your mind's just going that fast. And I didn't think stress could really have that impact on you, but the best I can, when I speak to the brothers now is, you don't know the amount of hits and the trauma you took or endured in prison until you're outside of that environment. And once I got outside of the environment, it's like all the hits were catching up. And then the pandemic was here, so I couldn't really get no help. And it was crazy. It was all out dog fight for real. Yeah, just to stay free.
Wow. And people really got to understand that, that mental health is real. Sometimes, you just, You just never know. You know what I'm saying? And then if you out here, if you're coming from a stressful situation, and then you're expecting to have some ease getting out of that situation,
It only gets
and then you
stressful.
run into a situation that's stressful because now you got to figure it out.
It's life. It's reality.
And the world's ending. Looks like it.
Yeah. All this stuff that's going on today.
Nobody went.
Violence and people getting locked up at alarming rate. This is a task in itself, man. You go to jail, man, do over 3 to 5 to 10 years and get thrust back in society. Ain't like they saying, here go a job upon your release. We got you going. You got to go figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a revolving door for me anyway. Not, as I'm looking at it, I've been in there all that time. I've seen dudes come back 4th time and I ain't went home once. And I'm like, well, damn. But I like to talk bad about them though and be like, man, he a dummy. Man, he a fool. When I got out there myself, I'm like, oh, that's why he kept coming. Like, this my brother. And if it wasn't for him, ain't no doubt in the world I'd be back. If not back in there, on my way back in there with
You
Dave.
gotta have support.
You got to have support. You need that background system from coming home. And to this day, to today, I got to go back and forth with him. And he got to shake, yo, listen, man, just, because it's like, dang, man, you did, like you said, the trauma, man, like jail is a traumatizing thing. Like, I've just come to this conclusion about 30 days ago.
Do you feel like you broke the cycle yet?
No, nowhere near broke
They
it.
say 60% of people within 3 years go back.
Within 3 years. And I went back for my violation within 3 years.
Yeah.
And I've been home a full year now after the violation.
Gotta break the cycle, bro. It's vicious though, but that what you're speaking is true, and you fortunate you got your brother. A lot of us coming home, we don't got nobody. It's nothing. I was blessed too.
So actually, what happened with your co-defendants?
They still in.
Wow.
Yeah. They had separate crimes in multiple states.
Mm.
And when my cousin finally got locked up, which was before me, he had got caught red-handed trying to rob another spot.
In the act.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I say they were out there and they were already on the move doing what they were doing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And no amount of money can prepare you, or no amount of money can have you. It's worth going to prison for the rest of your life.
No. Somebody just asked me, I think I put up, would you do 10 years for $10 million or something? I recently got offered an opportunity, I'm going to say, to go on a show, but I would have had to be inside of locked in for 3 months. I was like, no.
For 3 months, was they giving you something for it?
Yeah,
This guy, look at
I ain't gonna lie though.
Shit, you might go to some.
No, they gave something up.
3 months. 3
It
months.
was 100 days, but it's not like you. It weren't just regular lockup.
Wait, but I ain't tripping. How much they giving up?
I can't.
Man.
I'm gonna say if you watch,
this guy's.
y'all to see the show. Bro.
All right,
It's out
yeah.
there. It's out there.
Man, boy, man.
This
look.
guy, you gotta be joking.
I can't. I feel you,
Yeah,
but
you
I
know
don't.
because where we come from,
But I don't feel you like that.
not like that. I
No,
understand that too.
there's no way. There's no way. If something happens, I go back. But bro, they could give me $100 million to go do a month, and I promise you, hook me up to a lie detector. The amount of, I don't ever want to feel that again, bro.
Right.
And it's more priceless to me to never have to feel that.
Right.
Just saying, but I get it. There's.
But do you really get it though?
We
Yeah.
did it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did a poll up here. What was it?
3 years for $1 million.
3 years for $1 million.
Yeah, I get it. There's plenty of brothers. Some of my
And a
homeboys
lot of
that-
people comment on that, like, give it to me. Where I got to turn myself in at.
Yeah,
But you had a lot of people say, hell no, I'm not.
I
going
think
to-
yeah,
And I'm one of them.
yeah.
I ain't going to prison.
I'm not.
See, but it all depends on situations too.
Yeah.
But you
No.
can get out here. You can get. What I'm saying is, you can get out here and make some money, and then have a peace of mind and freedom.
That's it.
Ain't no women. I can do the time, but it was really in my mind. Ain't no women in the pen. I can't do time. I can't do that. I gotta be away from my family and my wives. I got back. That's crazy.
I couldn't go back in that. I mean, again, but not voluntary. Not back in that 6x9.
Yeah.
Not hearing the cell, the door closed.
Mhm.
Not smelling the smells. Not.
You'll never forget that smell. If you smell that again right now, the smell of R&D and all that.
I just left. What was it? Greensville Correctional Center. I did 3 years up there. And before that, Sussex 1, like in the last month, I did time up there. And when I went in there, I was in front of the counselors and everybody. Like I was leading them. My brother was like, yo, I was like, I've been here before. You don't forget.
Right.
And when I lead the prisons, because I go into so many prisons, I travel full time across the country, my wife always has to call me like immediately after and like,
Make sure you good.
yeah, because it's not that I feel like I'm locked up again, but it's really easy for me
It's
to
a trigger.
operate. When I go up in there, I feel like I'm one of the guys again. If I'm all the way transparent. Again, not in a way like
I want to be in here or anything, but you're comfortable with this. And it sounds weird, but I know exactly, because like right now, if I was to go on to a lecture, like I just recently got another job, right? Well, I'm in the process of trying to get the job, and the job is is out here in Norristown. It's not far from here, but when you get there, it's a lockdown site, right? And a lot of people don't want to work at this site because of they're mental patients, and a lot of them is pedophiles, but not the in my mind, the lady telling me at the interview, like, well, a lot of people don't want to work here because they're pedophiles, and it's a lockdown.
right.
Like when you go in, you're in, and they got to buzz you out and all that. Right. And a lot of people don't like that. But I'm like, I don't really want to tell her, like, I feel like at home for, because it sounds weird.
Well, I mean,
to say it like that.
You're from Philly? Are you from
Philly?
Yeah,
yes.
So I don't know what part of Philly. I'm from Chicago, right? I'm from Humboldt Park. Like it's a messed up neighborhood. I don't want to be there, but I know it well.
Exactly.
If I go back, I know where to go get.
You won't feel out of place,
right? And because I've experienced it.
Exactly.
It's not.
That's a heck of an analogy. It's like us going back to our hood. Our hood is terrible.
Right. It's super terrible.
But we go back. We know where to get the food at. We know where everything's at. You know where to.
Annie, she still lives. She holding on like.
Yeah, y'all know who's who. Probably.
Yeah. So we're just like that's crazy. It's like how it is in prison. Like we can go back to our old neighborhood and feel comfortable.
I told the lady at the interview, I said, ma'am, I let her up. I was transparent with her. I said, I did 21 years in prison. I've been around chomos damn near all my life. Like, I ain't tripping about what they did or their crimes or whatever. And she's like, well, the place is secure. And I said, I don't feel like claustrophobic because we're inside this place right now as we speaking. We got to buzz past every doors and she got to use this to open. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Right.
Or claustrophobic. Why? Because of what I've been through already. And it's crazy to say it like that, but people like me and you will understand.
But it's not, because what you're speaking to is how we get conditioned.
Exactly.
And then we get okay with certain things. So it's not crazy. It's on point for real.
Yeah.
Wow. Now let's go a little bit about let's talk about the programs that you're in that's helping people who are coming home from prison, I believe, and people who are out here on the streets.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about those programs.
Yeah, so
I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to Tales from the Jails. Everyone knows that jail is a serious matter. Us here at Tales from the Jails, we are offering something special to anyone who's currently in prison, on their way to prison, and actually those who are returning from prison. We're offering consultation to anyone who's threatened with prison, in prison, and like I said, and who are coming home from prison. We have Zoom consultations to help you with your prison bid. For those who are going to prison, don't know about prison, don't know what to expect, don't know if it's going to be, all these horror stories you hear, all these things. We tell you what exactly to expect. We give you consultation on how to deal with these difficulties of prison. It could be through Zoom. It can be in person, where we talk to you in person. We do intense prison preparation. We also offer business management for those who are incarcerated. We also do post-prison consultations. So if you're ever looking for consultation, you want to know what's going on, want to be prepared to go in, like you want to be prepared to come home, contact Tales from the Jail. That's talesfromthejail.com. Talesfromthejail.com. You see it right here. Talesfromthejail.com. Reach out to us today.
Like I was speaking to when I came home in 2020, right before the pandemic, after 17 years, there were no resources. And probably rightfully so. The probation officers, everybody didn't know what was going to happen the next day. So from there, the lack of resources, and not just during that time, just looking around at the country, there's a massive lack of resources when it comes to people coming home from prison. So one of the things that I did, I started a nonprofit called the Life Unit. The Life Unit is basically honoring my brother, Poetic Life. He's still in prison right now, 27 years. solid dude. Never seen this dude get angry. We're fighting for his freedom, but it's a way that we carry his work out here. And we focus in reentry prevention or pre-entry and gang intervention or family intervention, youth intervention. But everybody that's on my team, all of my facilitators, admins, everybody's done time, or they're the spouse or relative of somebody that's done time, and that's by design. The majority of my team also were certified peer specialists in mental health. Anybody that's watching this, if you've done time in prison, if you suffered at any time from addiction, if you suffered from mental illness, you can get these certifications and you can work in the field of mental health, addiction. You can go back into prisons, and the certifications are typically only 1 week to 2 week. They vary by states, but we have those qualifications. And we just travel. We do a lot of work online. We recently got a proclamation. We got honored and got our own day in the blackest city of the country, South Fulton. Proud of that because we're really out there doing the work in the streets. And then I launched the Stay Free Digital Reentry Community. Every day about 2,000 men kill themselves. So the work that I do primarily, anytime that I'm speaking about prison, educating, delivering a message, really I'm speaking about mental health and how it's impacting us. Because I believe wholeheartedly that's the root of incarceration. It's mental health, it's undiagnosed trauma, unprocessed trauma. So created this whole digital community for individuals that are incarcerated as well as their loved ones. They can come get support, online calls, they got literature, they got hotlines if it goes left. And then, outside from that, just utilizing social media and just continue to, connect with other organizations and doing the work nationwide. Yeah.
I'm asking you, how far do what's your ultimate goal with this? Like, what do you see yourself with this in the next, I'll say, God willing, 2 to 5 years?
That's crazy. One thing I pride myself on is taking away the excuses from people or breaking stereotypes. So before the nonprofit, I got honored for Principal of the Year. Me and my wife opened up a vocational school in Tucker, Georgia, Lasting Layers of Beauty Institute, graduated over 200 students. And the news came because they were trying to figure out how this guy that had been convicted of felonies was graduating these students. We had a 100% graduation rate, no student left behind. And I've always been driven for the people. Like anybody that's known me behind the wall, when I grew up in there, when that switch got hit, I was organizing in there. So that's what I'm doing out here. And whether it's dealing with education, mental health, addiction, but I think a discussion I had with me and mine is not just pushing the envelope. We got something really big getting ready to transpire that we feel like is going to shape the globe, not just this country when it comes to people that are coming home from prison, where they'll be able to get immediate assistance at all times. But personally, I got some other places I want to go to as a convicted felon. I got a buddy of mine that's running for city council out there in Atlanta. James of Change, good brother of mine, motivating factor. And I got the desire, I think, at one point in time, maybe a little bit older, to get into that field too.
Another thing I see that you're doing is very, very popular and very, very, entertaining, but also very, very informational.
Yeah.
Is these skits you do with the prison. I just saw one most recently. You was talking to a CO or a guard.
Yeah.
That message was crazy.
Yeah, I try, man.
How do you like what prompted you, what made you do those start doing those skits like that?
When I was towards the end of my prison bid, I was what they called a senior elder, like a mentor. I was over like the programs, and the guys used to be angry. They didn't want to come to group. We were in reentry, but I was cool with everybody. I used to walk around the block, talk trash, all that. One day the CO walks in, CO Smalls. It was cool, but she was just not nice to everybody, right? And she came in, and I did an impression of her on the floor in front of the group. Everybody went crazy, and it was on a Friday. So when Monday came, everybody was like, "Yo, who you going? What impression you gonna do next?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Y'all gonna come to group?" And they're like, I was like, "Bet," and it just became this thing. So every Friday, it was known. Like I was gonna make fun of somebody in the block in a joking way.
Yeah.
And just started from there. When I came home, to be honest with you, I seen everybody else getting money on social media. And I wanted to work from my phone, and I was always told I could speak, I can act, I could do certain things. So I figured, why not pick my phone up and go for it?
Yeah.
And, you know, thank God it paid off. You know, they started hitting, you know.
Yeah, I see him, man. I see him, and I'm like, that's what made me reach out to you, though. Honestly,
Word.
I saw those skits, and I saw it and I said, man, because you know, up here we talk about, you know, Tales from the Jails, but we speak about it in a manner to deter people from going to prison.
Right.
And you never know whether it's a message. It can be a serious message. It can be a comedic message.
Right.
It can be a message, you know, just a written message, whatever. But you never know what can touch somebody and what can bring somebody to a point where they might, you know what, prison ain't for me.
Yeah.
Or it can help them get through a tough time. So, you know, I wanted to commend you with that, because I never been to prison, but by me seeing that, it was entertaining, but also the message was felt.
I appreciate that, because that's what I don't never, and I don't think you ever will. Like, just because I've been to prison, I'll never be one of those guys in front of the camera that's trying to act gangster. None of that. I try to keep it light. I do have plenty of part, you know, where I'm telling my story, or they're serious stories. But if I can educate through laughter, and then for me, I'm trying to get the youth. So the majority of my demographic, fortunately, is 18 to 35.
Mm-hmm.
So the skits was really for them.
Yeah.
You know, I love just being able to tell the stories and speak, but if it's going to keep pulling them in and asking questions, I'm going to keep getting the messages saying I left the gang, I'm not going to prison, we're going to keep doing the skits.
Yeah. And let me ask you the question, like, you know, the success in what you're doing, does that motivate you to want to do more? Like, is that like a motivational factor for you?
Yeah. And I retired my wife December. And as a man, I'm not knocking any, but just for me, the type of man, that was a dream of mine, because my wife, she went hard for me when I was behind that wall. And I just want to take care of my family. I want to provide solutions. And in times like these, you need resources to do that.
Yeah.
And just because I came home from prison, I didn't want to stay on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've done things like open the school, we're doing 100 million views a month on average and all that, which to me I'm grateful for. But that's the beginning.
Yeah.
I still got a whole lot of work to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you said you was about to have a son. You know.
Yeah. Thank God, man.
Your son isn't here right now.
Yeah.
But if he was to watch this interview, and it was something that you wanted to say to him right now, because we never know where we can end up.
Yeah. No.
You know, if there's something that you wanted to say to him, if this was your last interview, what would you say to him right now?
Man, it's a real question, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just want to tell my son that I love him. That's it. And that's really it. Like, that's the one thing I didn't have, I didn't know, I didn't feel. Like, even with I just didn't feel that immediately. And I think I just want to tell my son that he's loved, man, that this world is yours, you know, and that you don't have to feed into anybody's stereotypes, conditions, and you can be exactly who you are and what you feel inside.
And now, flip side, a message to the youth, anyone out here that see what you're doing, that see your platforms and see your success. What message could you give to them?
To the youth, man, I want to say thank y'all, because we need you. I get messages every day. I can't keep up with them all the time, but anybody that knows, if you guys try to reach out in my inbox, if it's not me, it's somebody from the team, we really do reach back. I got calls every weekend, so if you're supporting the content message, we can connect, because I don't want you guys to see the content. I want y'all to get the support. But overall, if you never see my content, never see a post, I want you to know that this world is beautiful, man, and that life isn't always just what you see. There's plenty of people right now, probably some people that love you, that are telling you lies with good intention. You know, but at the end of the day, freedom is priceless, and time is the most valuable thing you ever have. And if you don't understand it now, hopefully one day you'll understand it in the right way, and not in a way that me and bruh had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you give it up, you don't get it back. And when I went in there at 19, I had hair. My mugshot did 16
Yeah, I
million
saw the
views,
afro,
right?
man. I saw that.
I had hair, all that. I came home, I didn't have none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
With hair, came home with no hair.
Yeah, lost my father, lost my grandmother, lost my brother.
Friends.
Sorry
You
to
know.
hear that.
Yeah, so yo, stay free, y'all, for real.
Anything else you want to add, Mr. Jackson?
Man, I'm going off what my man Chris said, man. Stay free, man. This is why we do this show. We do this show to bring awareness of where you may go if you out there committing crimes. And again, I get it. I get it. Sometimes it get real hard and you might I'm not sitting up here trying to act like I'm better than y'all because I did all the time because I was out there in the streets. So I get it. But what I also get now that I didn't get then is they got a place for you.
Better.
They got a place for you, and you will learn. You will learn right, weak, or strong. You will learn. Whether it's that grave or that penitentiary, you will learn. So we are here to try to bring you, a better understanding of, if you didn't already have it, of what's going on right now. And that's it.
Wow, man. And both of those things was very, very powerful that both of y'all said, because y'all speaking from a standpoint of, crime, prison, freedom.
Yeah.
And there's some people who do crime, prison, and never get freedom.
Yeah, that part.
So take heed. Man, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Tales from the Jails. I want to thank you for coming out, and you're always welcome on our platform. From this day forth, we will be comrades, man. Anything you got going on, you need our support, we're going to definitely be a part of it.
Vice versa.
So we out. This Tales from the Jails.